Hey guys, welcome to Visionary Academy, episode 1, so first one, wish me luck. Today we have professional boxer all the way from Leeds, like myself, we have Josh Wisher. How are you today, Josh?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, very well. Tell us a bit about yourself, Josh. How did you get into professional boxing?
So I started off Thai boxing at first. My dad got me boxing. My dad always wanted to do boxing, but I never really into boxing, really. I preferred, I was always a sportsman, but I preferred, football.
Yeah.
So I was quite a big Leeds fan, and then I just wanted to be a bit stronger and tougher, so
Yeah.
it was just quite easy. I just follow my dad's footsteps.
Amazing. And what did your dad do? Did he, I think you said, was he a fighter growing up? Or?
Yeah, so he were a Yorkshire champion, and he were just an amateur boxer.
Amazing.
And then in his later days, he did Thai boxing as well.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be like him, really.
Yeah.
He's always being a good role model, big and strong. And, you know.
And what was your upbringing like? Who did you have around the household? Who, did you have mum and dad? Do you have any siblings? That kind of thing?
Yeah, so mum and dad and my little sister. So.
And are you quite close to your family to this day?
Yeah, really close. My family, my grandparents, aunties, uncles. We all live in LS12 area.
Amazing. So you've always been from Leeds. And how was school for you? Was it a very, good experience for yourself?
I wouldn't say I loved school, actually. I enjoyed school. I'd like to say I was quite popular at school.
So, what were some of your favourite subjects? What did you have a passion for at school?
PE and maybe history.
Yeah, sports. Sporty from a young age then.
Yeah.
So did you know from sort of at school that you wanted to get into boxing, or was it just your dad that got you into it alongside school, or was there anything else, or anyone who you, I guess, looked up to, any inspirations, celebrities, that kind of thing?
I think when I first started high school, it was a bit of a shock to me, and I was just used to being so popular in primary school, and then high school it was a little bit different, and then I had a bit of trouble with the year 8s and year 9s when I was in year 7, and then I just thought, I just want to learn boxing, not to use it on anyone, just to be just to have a bit more self-defense and a bit more
be able to fight if it's needed. That kind of thing.
The one thing with boxing, it gives you that confidence.
It's a very disciplined sport, isn't it? I
was very much the tall, slim kid. Well, I still am quite slim, but really a lot slimmer. And I'd be, I've hunched over shoulders, and I don't want to speak to people, or I just want to keep myself to myself, do my thing, and then go home. Yeah. And, it just give me that confidence to,
to start up a sport, and also confidence in yourself, which is a really good thing. So you were saying your dad was a massive inspiration for yourself to get into boxing from a young age. How old was you again when you first took an interest?
Well, I started boxing when I was in and out with boxing. So I started boxing at 9-10 years old.
Yeah.
But not super serious. Just sort of my dad would train me in the garden, or on the pads at home, and then he took me to a gym on Bailey Road. But then that gym actually that gym ended up sort of folding, I think. So we're no longer thinking. We got moved to another gym, and because I was so young, I think I was 11 at the time or 10. I felt uncomfortable going to the gym. I just started getting my basic stance and everything in boxing. Yeah. And when I went there to that new environment, there might have been 5 or 6 of us that went down. I just didn't feel comfortable, and I thought, I'm just going to go back to football. Yeah. So then I was, back in my comfort zone sort of thing. That's what I want to do, Dad. And my dad respected it. He didn't push me no, you are going boxing. And he just let me do whatever I wanted to do.
That's good.
And then might have been a few months later, I was I want to get back into it. I didn't know what to do, and then I ended up doing a bit of Thai boxing for a bit.
Yeah, that's good.
I had one inter-club doing that when I was 11. Did that, and then same again, happened to me again. I was I'm not doing that again. I didn't really like it. A bit scary, that interclub. I didn't like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it would have been a scary experience at the time. Yeah.
And then when I started high school, I was about 11 or 12, and I was right, no. I'm not doing the kicking no more. I don't want that. I'm just going back to boxing.
Yeah. And what is the difference between, I guess, the two sports? Because they're similar but different, obviously. I mean, did you feel naturally more comfortable doing boxing rather than the other one?
Well, I was always better.
Yeah.
My upstairs game, and like I've never been the most flexible person, so like, you know, the leg kicking and like being kicked in the thighs,
because I imagine it's a lot of flexibility and you know,
one for me. But
whereas with boxing, it's just, you know, your fist, you know, and pad work and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then when I were like, I don't know, might have been in year 7 or something like that, I watched a thing called Rocky. My dad was like, you need to watch Rocky. So once I watched that, I became obsessed with boxing.
Yeah.
I was like, right.
So that was the film that it just went from there, basically. That inspired
I wanna be
you.
That guy, so
which is good, and that's for a lot of young lads. That's a lot of inspiration. Something like that, you know, a film like that gets a lot of young men into saying, "Oh, I want to get into boxing. I want to be like this guy," you know. So it's a very inspiring film.
Yeah.
So I can see why, you know, that was a big inspiration for yourself. Was there any other inspirations other than obviously your dad and Rocky? Was there any sort of, I don't know, I guess celebrity boxers or just normal boxers that inspired you to get into the sport as well?
Well, I looked up to like a few different boxers. Like, so like, for example, like Joe Calzaghe. I thought, you know, he's a really good boxer. I went, you know, well, he was undefeated. I went last year. I was fortunate enough to have like a meal with him.
Oh, wow.
An evening with him, and really good at asking him questions. And
yeah, I bet you was a bit nervous in a way. Yeah,
that really good. At this like dinner show that I went to.
Wow. And
then there's obviously like, you know, people like Floyd Mayweather.
Wow. Yeah.
Tyson Fury. You know, like
all
Manny Pacquiao. I love Manny Pacquiao actually.
Yeah, all the huge boxers. Yeah.
And, it's really inspiring, really.
Yeah, and did you get the opportunity to speak to any of them or engage with any of them?
Oh, no, not none of them. I spoke to, like I said, I spoke to Joe at the dinner show. There was like 100 of us there. That were nice because he's a father and son team.
Yeah.
And that's what I am, so my dad's my coach as well.
Yeah.
And obviously Enzo was his coach, so it was nice to see, because he told everyone his story about him growing up and everything, and there were some similarities there, like him and his dad arguing and
you know, the family dynamic training, kind of thing. Yeah.
So it was quite nice.
And it reminded you of yourself and your dad. Yeah, that's amazing.
Just obviously on a lot smaller scale.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I guess how long did it take for you to train to get to the point of where you are now? Because I know training for a boxing match, as I have myself in the past, it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, a lot of hours, a lot of maybe time with your friends that you've got to unfortunately miss out on, you know, and just stick at the sport, you know, 7 days a week, non-stop. What kept you going to train? What kept you motivated?
Just a routine, I think, really.
Yeah.
So, like, when I was at school, I'd finish at like 3 o'clock, and then I'd just go home and I'd have my tea, and I'd be at the gym at 6:30. My mum would take me, or my dad would take me. I used to go to a gym in Dewsbury when I first started, like properly. Well, I say first started, I started like 4 times. There's like quite a few first starts, and I just went there, and then I got settled there, and I just started really enjoying it. And I found my feet. I was probably ready to have my first boxing match when I was like, I didn't have my first boxing match till I was 16.
Yeah.
I was probably ready when I was like maybe 14, 15.
Yeah.
But I just like, it
you
was just one of those things
time
where like, and my dad as well, we were just like, no, when we're ready, we're going to be super ready.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like now at my gym, at the Ministry of Boxing. Like, we've got quite a lot of guys who are ready for the first fight, but we're quite a big believer in we'll make sure our people are ready.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So
and when you go for a match, you've got to be 100% trained, like no slacking, I'll still go for the odd drink, that kind of thing. Because a lot of men and women get into that mindset of, oh yeah, I'll train, I'll go to the gym, I'll do the boxing training, that kind of thing. But they can obviously lose motivation and slip into them bad habits, you know, drink, eat, that kind of thing.
It's a slippery slope.
It is, and it does take a lot of dedication and hard work and motivation as well. You've got to be in it to win it, literally, you know. What sort of advice would you give to those people that are wanting to be in the position that yourself is in, but don't know how to get there, I guess, you know? Maybe they struggle with motivation, they struggle with maybe going to the right gym, the right coach. What sort of advice would you give to those young men and women?
I'd just say stay consistent with it. Make sure you're turning up, even on the days when you don't want to turn up.
Yeah.
Because
that's number one. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for me, the day, I mean, I've always had, say, mum and dad be pushing me, going, "Oh no, you're gonna go there tonight."
Yeah.
That was like a few years ago, but like sometimes the days when you don't want to go, you actually end up having your best night.
Yeah.
And like the days when you're up for it and you feel ready for it, you sometimes you quite have a bad night. So
you can surprise yourself, quite easily, And
then you go home and you driving your way home, you've got the endorphins. You think, "Bloody hell, that looked really good."
Afterwards you just think, "I want to go again tomorrow," and keep the routine and consistency. Absolutely.
It's the same again. Even if you have a bad night, it's best to okay, have a little moan about it. You might be a bit angry or annoyed on the way home. Or
and take that out in the gym.
I'm never going back there, Especially teenagers growing up, you think something goes wrong, it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I think teenagers, especially today, now more than ever, struggle with motivation a lot more than, say, what we did when we was younger. If we had an ambition or wanted to do something, we stuck at it. But I think this younger generation really struggle to keep that, and keep that mindset of, stick at it and you'll be good at it, and, it can easily fall apart, and then they're left lost and don't know what to do, and think, "Oh, is this sport for me?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's easy to lose that. So I think, you're setting a good example of whether you have a good day or a bad day at the gym, just keep at it, keep working, and one day you could be a professional boxer.
That's it.
It's truly inspiring,
Because I'd have a bad night and I'd be driving back, because it were a 25-minute drive really. I wanted to go to a gym sort of away from where I've been known, because I was like, "Oh, I'm not, I don't know, I just preferred it."
You didn't want people you knew to watch you train. You wanted your own. So no, I get that. I've done that myself. Yeah.
I was lucky enough as well, because I had parents who actually take the time out to take me, which not everyone does. Not everyone can do that. Yeah. But so on the way home on the journey, if I said I'd had bad night sparring or whatever, then I'd be saying, "Oh, I'm never going back."
Yeah, because you do have those bad days.
But then I'd get home and have my tea, and I'd be talking to my dad then while we're having tea. I'd be like, "Oh, so next time I'm going to try this move. I'm going to do that." And my dad'd be like, "I thought you said you weren't going back."
Yeah, exactly. So, even the best of us have our bad days and think, "Oh, I'm not going back. I'm not going to stick this out." All that. So I guess my next question would be, what has been your best match and your worst match, would you say? You can start off with boxing,
like professional boxing, or
or even when you were working your way up the ladder, just before you got into professional boxing. Right. What was a match that stuck out to you that you thought, "Oh, that were brilliant"? That really, inspired me to keep going and do it, and that was a match I'll never forget. And what was, I guess, a bad match where you thought, "Oh, should I keep doing this?" Either or.
I mean, I've never had a match where I thought, "Oh, should I keep doing this?"
Yeah.
Because it's just not the way I've been. I'm really competitive, so I've just been like...
Every match is a learning curve kind of thing.
I know I can do better, so I just want to do more. But same with sparring. Like, if I've had some tough spars before, and I think, "Well, this guy's good," or "I want really good today. I want up to it. I should have been better." But you just find a way to get over it and get on with it. But probably my last match, I'd say, it was my best performance, like most mature performance, which was in June this year at the Ellen Road Pavilion. So my fourth professional fight, and I just looked really mature in there.
Yeah. And you did your training, you prepared well. Yeah. You were ready.
I was fit, strong, ready to go, and I just comfortably breezed it.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a shame because I've had quite a bit of a layoff.
Yeah.
Through not really my fault. Being a couple of shows have been cancelled, but it does happen in the boxing. Like, sometimes it does happen. Like, fights will come off, and then
when you've spent all that time preparing and getting ready, and you think, "Oh, cancelled after all." It can be frustrating.
It's tough on us guys, and it's tough on the promoters as well, because it's like, so if there's little money there sometimes, a lot of the time, so it's like it's hard to get it through.
Yeah.
Once a few fights drop off, then it's like ticket scenarios, like handing ticket money back over, and it's quite stressful. It's
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to ask about as well, because obviously, as we both know, there's very little money in the sport, as there is, even for professional fighters like yourself. It can be very little money, or not quite the money that you'd like for what you do in the ring, obviously. Why do you think that is? Is there just not enough, I guess, light on the sport? Has it kind of lost its way? Is the kind of, I guess, this influencer boxing that's around at the moment, influencers like Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, that kind of thing. Tommy Fury used to be a professional boxer, but I think he's gone down the route of the influencer boxing now, very unfortunately. But I kind of wanted to get your opinion on that, and why you think the influencers are taking all the money whilst professional boxers like yourself are left with not the bare minimum, but not as much as, say, what influencers are that have never had a boxing match or much experience in their life. You know, what's your opinion on that at the moment?
I mean, to be truthful, I think I kind of say fair play to them, because they've got their fans and their following, and it's all about having a following.
Right.
So, like, I'm building my following up. So, you know, as long as I can get people to come, which my last fight I did, but it just didn't quite happen for me, then you'll do all right. It's just if you can't, you know, sell the tickets, then you're not going to do as well. But like for people like, you know, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, like, they've just got loads of fans who just want to watch them. And to be honest, like, at one point I might have been like, oh, bloody hell, yeah. But at the same time, then the next time, like, oh, I'm excited for him. And I've watched, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, I've seen like the videos and stuff like that. I know they train hard. Yeah. And I just say, well, fair play to you. You know, like,
they put the work in. They don't just kind of step into the ring and hope for the best kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, like, they probably get paid quite a lot, like probably a bit too much for
what they do.
The skill set.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of like what you just said. I totally agree with you. You know, fair play to them. They stepped in the ring and given it a go, like what professionals do, you know. But at the same token, they've not got the experience there. They've not got the hard work and years of training like what yourself does. So I guess it's kind of that side what I don't really personally agree with, you know. Whereas professionals like yourself have trained from a young age and put the hours in and really worked hard, and you still don't get paid as much. And it's kind of, you know, I don't know, as a professional, how do you feel about that, I guess?
It can be frustrating, like,
yeah.
You've got, in professional boxing, it's quite expensive for, like, your medical fees and, you know, your brain scans and
absolutely,
all that. So it's like, you know, that them yearly scans and tests that you've got to have, you know, it's not cheap, which is why you need to have good sponsors.
Yeah,
I'm grateful.
And you've got to look after your health, sponsors. Number one, as well. You've got to get these regular medical checks, like you say, to make sure that you're still fit to box, fit to carry on the sport that you love to do. You know, so, 100%. You know, you've got to, obviously, you could have fights all over the country or abroad, wherever it may be. You know, you've got to get yourself there, kind of thing. And you've got to make sure that you're paid enough to survive off of your job, basically, like everyone else. So it's kind of it's a double-edged sword, really, because I think, my personal opinion, professionals should be paid more, you know, than what influencers do, because it's like anyone off the street could have an influence, or anyone could just walk in and get paid more than a professional who's worked the whole life to get to this point, you know. And it's kind of it must be frustrating at times, you know.
I know what you mean. Like, you'll do for me.
Yeah. But is that sort of the route you're wanting to go down yourself? I mean, have you ever thought about being an influencer alongside a professional boxer? Is that maybe a potential career path as well, or is it not really for you?
I mean, I could see myself doing that.
Yeah. Well, never say never.
So, you know, let's just see what happens, see where things go.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you never know what's around the corner. Yeah. So, what is your opinion on, I guess, the very recent KSI and Tommy Fury fight, which was on, I can't remember how long ago that was on. A few months ago, was it? Yeah. What was your opinion on that fight, I guess, from a professional boxer's standpoint, you know?
I mean, it kind of showed the levels.
Yeah.
Like, there's quite a lot of hugging going on, but it was good because it was competitive. Like, they both wanted to. It's nice to see they both clearly wanted to win. prove a point.
The hunger was there, kind of thing.
They didn't really like each other, or they might have liked each other, but when there's a crowd there and people are watching and millions are watching and it's me against you sort of thing, and it were good. It were good to see that, but it kind of showed that
they lacked experience, I think.
But sometimes it's like the style does make the fight. So like, I think KSI was going for like a big swinging knockout.
Yeah.
And then he'd miss, and then he'd like clinch, and then Tommy was trying to box, and then it were a bit messy at times, but
yeah,
it were not a bad match, I guess.
Yeah, as far as influencer boxing goes, it was okay, Yeah, and I guess moving on from that, what is your hopes of going forward into boxing? Like, do you want to fight like bigger fighters? Do you want to get better at the sport? Like, what sort of thing are you looking to do in terms of boxing going into the new year?
Yeah, so into the new year, I've got a little bit of clearing up to do in the background, sort of like just a couple of routine like medical checks I need to do.
Yeah. Moving
forward to sort my license again.
Yeah, make sure you're fit and healthy and everything,
once I get that out of the way, to be honest, I want to have probably 5 or 6 fights. I need to be quite a lot more active. Like I said, I've only had 1 fight this year. Yeah. Which is not ideal at all.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, how many fights a year does a professional boxer get? I mean, is that probably, is it not as many, or do you have like a few fights a year? Like, what kind of thing do you?
I mean, you can have as many as you want, really.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get stopped, then you have to have 52 days off something, or just over.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong there. It might be. I think it might be 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
Roughly around that, you'd say. Yeah.
I don't actually know, but obviously that's not going to happen. But I just need to get this sorted, and then I'll be training, and I'll just get the fights out of the way, because I want to have longer fights.
Yeah.
Harder fights. Cause I've done 4 rounders so far. I was supposed, my next one going to be a 6 rounder, because of quite a bit of layoff that I've had. I'm going to probably do another 4 rounder just to just one more just to get back into it.
And is 4 rounds your average? Like, you don't feel like you could go any further than that at the moment? That's just kind of 4 rounds, you're comfortable.
Well, I could, kind of thing. But just because it'll be like 7 months since I was last in the ring. I'm just going to do 1 more, and then maybe 6 weeks later, I just want to be back out again. 4 weeks.
Yeah, like up the rounds kind of thing. Get better and work your way up.
It'll be a 6 rounder then, and then I'll do a couple of 6 rounders.
Yeah.
Maybe an 8, and then it'll be a 10.
Yeah.
I'll be for like some title when I do the 10.
Yeah, and that's what you're hoping to go into the new year, like have more fights, more rounds, and just get better and better at the sport and work your way up the ladder, kind of thing. Is there anything else that you're looking to work on in the new year? Any other projects or any other type of things you're thinking about, or any businesses you're looking to create?
Yes. So I'm lucky enough, because like I say, the boxing, the money side of it's not always great. I'm lucky enough because I've got my own gym, so the ministry, like,
that's good.
I'm training. I can get paid my wages through that. So in a sense, I'm lucky, because although I've had the fights or they've been cancelled or whatever, I've been in the gym anyway. So I'm there anyway. But in the new year, I'm working. I'll be working at Dixon's Academy, which is at the heart of, it's only 3 minutes from my gym.
Yeah, that's good. Very close and practical.
Like community engagement and things like that. I want myself and my boxing gym to be like at the heart of it. So I'm looking forward to. I'll be doing weekly sessions there.
Yeah.
I do weekly sessions at the Army Leisure Centre as well, and I'm just doing more and more like in my area, just to build us up, and I just want to do good things.
Yeah, help others. And do you help a lot of people in your gym at the moment? Like, do you get a lot of different characters and different people that come into your gym and have different stories of why they wanted to get into boxing, or any sort of stories that your clients, what you're getting and train, that inspire you to want to help them? Anything like that? Yeah,
so there's all different ages, and who come to my gym, and a a few of them were my friends already, or there might have been someone I trained with at another gym.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, Josh, you know, you and Phil have opened up a gym. Like, yeah, well, obviously I'm coming to that sort of thing. So it's quite nice to hear that. And then, you know, we've got loyal customers now.
Yeah.
So it's building up good. And then we've got more people like every week and every session there's like someone new coming up. Oh, I've heard about you through blah, blah.
Oh, that's good. And how do they hear about yourself and your gym? Just through word of mouth or online?
Yeah, so sometimes, you know, it could be word of mouth, online, or I seen, you know, one of your things on Instagram or Facebook. I want to try this gym out. My friends come here, or, you know, and that's just what's happening now. We're getting a lot busier, so we're already thinking about a gym expansion, which is going to be happening in the new year.
That would be brilliant, yeah.
I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, so that's kind of another goal for the new year as well. It sounds like you've got a lot in the works for the new year, and, you know, fingers crossed everything works out for you with that.
Yeah, that's it. Like on the boxing terms of things, for me personally, it's been slow.
Yeah, but it's a process at the same time.
But it's still there, and I'm still learning. I'm still, you know, I've been sparring. I've been training. I've done camps. I've improved.
Yeah, because you're still only young.
Yeah.
I mean, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 25.
Yeah, so you're still very young. You know, you still got a long way to go. You still got your whole career ahead of you, you know, so just stick at it and keep going, you know.
Yeah, so I've got time on my side, and like I say, when I think about this year, it's been a really busy year.
Yeah.
Business side of things.
Yeah. What else have you been up to this year, I guess?
I did my PT qualification earlier this year.
Amazing.
My England boxing coaching courses this year. For the lads, for the amateurs I've got. I've put on sessions in the summer for St Giles Trust, for like disengaged like young people.
Yeah.
I did a boxathon last year as well. I did a half marathon for Leeds Mind.
How did you do?
Yeah, I did all right.
That's good.
I did the marathon as well, which I was a lot happy with that. Did that in 3:45.
Wow,
that's my first ever marathon as well.
That's very good timing. Yeah. You know, you must be proud of yourself for that, definitely.
And in January, I'm looking to become an ambassador for Mind as well, for Leeds Mind.
Yeah, that's really good. You know, do you work quite closely with different charities as well for different events or different things you do?
So I did a sponsored swim.
Yeah.
For cardiac risk in the young as well. I was an ambassador for them at one point earlier on this year. At the start of the year, like I did that back in February. Just trying to think now on top of my head.
Oh no, you find it. No, take your time. Yeah. Don't worry, because it's nice that you shout out all the work that you've done for these charities. And nice to, you know, to give that back and just say, you know, you're very, you know, glad that you could help them, you know, by doing what you do. And it's a very, you know, truly commendable thing that you're doing at the moment. You know.
Yeah, like I say, I've got all the classes at my gym. I do like 1-to-1 and small group sessions as well. Like,
yeah.
If people want to work a bit more privately.
Yeah.
I put on fortnightly sessions at the term time for Alton Academy.
Yeah.
Which is in Rothwell. They're really enjoying it. I'm hoping to continue that into next year because their last session is not next week, the last week before the break up for Christmas.
Yeah, that'll be very good. No, it sounds like you've done a lot of work, and you're hoping into the new year to work with even more charities by doing different things. I mean, have you thought about maybe any other new thing that you'd like to do going into the new year? Maybe like a new sport that you'd like to try, or something new, and you'd like to work with a charity for that as well in anywhere?
To be honest, no. I've been a bit too. I don't think I'd have time.
No, you're quite a busy schedule.
Yeah, I do sessions with Leeds Youth Service as well. So they come to the MOB, my gym, on Tuesdays. It's completely free as well, but
that's good.
There's been quite a bit of, you know, bad things happening in my area, like stabbings and, you know, that sort of thing. And it's like, that was a session that's to try and like get these young people like to, you know, get engaged into something a bit more positive and put the gloves on instead. So that's been going really well, and I've been enjoying that.
Yeah, and it's a really good thing, you know. It's a good message that you're sending out, you know, to the youth to get out of, you know, knife crime and, you know, get off of the streets and put their energy and focus on something more positive to help them and give them a focus in life and a drive. You know, it's a very good positive thing that you're doing, you know. And I imagine you get different people coming to your gym and say, you know, I've done this in my past and wanting to get off of that and start up a sport and get into it. And I guess stories like that from different people inspire yourself and I guess bring a tear to your eye. It would with me personally, you know.
Well, it's nice because imagine we've got I've got white people going, black people going, Asians, you know, different students cultures, go, posh kids will go, you know, everyone go, it's not. It's
open to anyone. Anyone can join, kind of thing.
It just goes to show you that it's, you know, boxing's the sort of environment where, you know, everyone can be friends and.
Yeah, there's no discrimination. You don't turn away anyone, which is brilliant. You know, everyone's given that same opportunity and same chance to change their life and give them something to focus on and put all their energy into. It's truly inspiring. It's very good.
You do your training, you know, you do your sparring, you shake hands before, you shake hands after. That's the way boxing is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good sport, and I guess that's what it trained you from a young age as well. It gave you maybe something to focus on yourself and thought, oh, this feels like home to me. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life, potentially, or a great part of your life. I mean, is there anything else you would want to do after boxing, or is it just boxing is for you and nothing else, would you say?
I think, you know, down the line, I think I'd want to become a coach.
Yeah.
Well, I already am doing a bit of coaching now, but I'd probably become more of a full-time coach as well.
Yeah.
When I stop boxing, so I'll always be around boxing.
Yeah, so you'll never come away from it completely, would you say? You'll always have it at your heart and at the front of anything you do. That's maybe bring that into something else that you might do in the future as well.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I might start five-a-side again, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to say, I imagine with boxing it's hard to do football as well, I imagine, or can you balance the two?
No, I've not played for years, really.
Oh, how long has it been?
Probably 3 years.
3 years, yeah. Do you miss it at all, would you say?
No, not really.
No.
It's too cold on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
Yeah. I mean, which sport would you say is tougher, football or boxing? Or
Definitely boxing.
Definitely.
Yeah. You can hide away on a football pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Let everyone else do the work, but in boxing you can't hide away.
You're fully exposed and open to being punched and, you know, all that, you know.
I think that's the reason why I've been, you know, pretty good at it, because you can't, you have to stick up for yourself in there because no one else is going to.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you and no one else, and you've got to fully have your back and your support and pray that you win, obviously.
Can't be lazy.
That's it, exactly. But that's what I was going to ask as well. From any matches that you've had, how many have you had?
So I've had combined, 33 matches.
Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot, especially because you're so young as well. That's a lot of matches. I was going to ask, have you ever sustained any really bad injuries or anything that's...
No, never. Touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood.
Touch wood.
So no bad injuries, no sort of, I don't know, bruises, cuts, any broken bones, nothing like that.
No, all right.
Because a lot of people, myself included, always wonder with boxing, because it's a very huge combat sport, it leaves yourself open to getting a lot of injuries, and maybe, I don't know, a lot of people say they get head injuries, or it's very easy to get a bleed on the brain or anything like that. You've got to be fully protected, because it's, you know, you get a lot of shots to the head a lot, and it can... I mean, do you ever get checked with stuff like that, just because you never know kind of thing?
Yeah, so I get yearly checks now. That's one thing I'm going through at the moment.
Yeah. And everything's fine, nothing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything's fine.
Yeah.
I've always been lucky like that, really. I've never really
sustained anything. Just a few bruises from a match, and you feel pretty much the same as what you did going in.
Might ache for a couple of days after, or after a heavy spine, might be like, oh, but then you're just fine again.
Need to sort of recover for a bit. Do you have any sort of recovery methods that you do? Like, I know some professional boxers, they might have like an ice bath or go to a recovery centre or something like that, like a bit of a recovery week or something.
Yeah, so I see a lady and she does like, the cupping.
Oh yes, yeah, I know that.
I find that really beneficial.
Yeah, they put it on your back, I believe, is it? Yeah, I've seen that.
I've got one of those lummy ice baths at home.
Yeah.
I use.
Yeah, I've got one myself.
Yeah. They are really good. Yeah,
they are very good. I'm wanting to get into boxing myself. That's why I know a little bit about it, as it is for a woman as well. I guess I know more than most. But I had a dabble in boxing 2 months ago, I think it was, something like that. I did the influencer boxing thing, that side of it, and it was kind of like a charity match where you sort of donate your ticket earnings to a charity, get into the ring, you'd box, because I'm a bit of an influencer myself, so hence why I was doing the influencer boxing. And I kind of went against someone who was sort of my sort of skill set, never done it before, had a decent following, wanted to give it a try, that kind of thing. It was in Essex, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, I've seen your pictures, yeah.
Yeah, you've probably seen it, yeah, so you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But I gave it a go, and I didn't get the win, very, very unfortunately. But I kind of wanted to get into it, and that was a stepping stone to get into the industry, I guess, if you like. But the one thing I struggled with was discipline in training, obviously. I didn't train enough as what I would have liked to. And sort of, for me, my cardio and fitness were just gone. The punches themselves was not that bad at all, if I'm honest. It more shocks you, and then you're instantly fine again and you're ready to go. But I guess for me, I struggled with the discipline side of training and getting my mindset into going to the gym every day and sparring, and I never been punched or anything like that. So I guess there were a few people that didn't really take it too seriously, which obviously they're still wanting to stick at it and get into the industry. But what sort of advice would you give to people that are wanting to get into it, like myself, but don't know how to keep that routine of, wanting to spar, box, that kind of thing, go to the gym, recover well, eat well, because obviously diet's a lot to do with it as well. What would you advise, or what does a simple training few months look like for you? Like, what do you do leading up to preparing for a fight, I guess?
I mean, firstly, I'd say you should come train with me.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep that in mind, definitely. I'll keep that in mind, because you're in Leeds like myself, so it'll work.
But you need to have like a program.
Yeah.
Set out. So I always set out a program. My coach sets me a program for what we're going to do in camp. So my training would be a bit different to like a charity match, because I think it'd be like shorter minute rounds, shorter like. Yeah,
because they gave us a lot of rounds. I nearly had as many as you. I had 3 rounds.
Right. So what was it? I'm guessing it would have been like 3 2-minute rounds.
Yes, correct. The very same. And it seems like for someone like myself that's never really boxed before, it seemed like a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what your opinion is on this as well, but we didn't have any protective headgear or anything like that, and it just seemed a bit strange to me.
Yeah. I mean, different. So like in amateur boxing, it's different. So when you turn 18, you don't wear a head guard.
Right. Okay.
I'm not sure what your like sanctioning body does. It might have been slightly, obviously, might have been the same. Might be slightly different.
Yeah.
But I mean, for 2 novice boxers, it probably is not a bad idea to have one on. Really.
Yeah. But that's what I thought actually as well. It was professional, but in some ways it seemed not professional.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of business-minded people are wanting to start these influencer charity boxing matches, if you like, and wanting to get young men and women that have never boxed before and just throw them in a ring together and just say box and see what happens. But the safety didn't really seem there, looking back. And I guess what's your sort of opinion on a lot of businessmen and businesswomen that are wanting to open a gym and start off this like influencer boxing thing? Do you think it's a good idea that normal people are trying to make this happen in order to gain more money? Or do you think people that are wanting to get into boxing should just do it the traditional way and just build the way up, go for white collar matches, go to local matches and fight rather than the influencer way of boxing, if that makes sense?
I mean, personally, I think like we follow the rules of England boxing. So
yeah,
there's quite a lot of like rules and regulations that we've had to follow to make sure that everyone, because we're working with like kids, so they need, we need to be safe, and even the seniors. So the senior would be like, someone said to me like, "Oh, seniors," like thinking like 65 seniors in boxing, like over 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, is it 18 to like 39? I think it is.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah.
So like in my gym, we had to buy a defib. We've got risk assessments we have to follow.
Yeah.
There's safeguarding.
Yeah.
Everything like
we had none of
got
that.
Certificates like on the wall, like it's covered all over the wall. It's like we weren't allowed to do any sort of sparring or anything, like quite a lot of things until we had everything in place. Like
of course, yeah.
And I think that some of the white collar boxing or like the unlicensed shows that they're putting on.
That was mine. An unlicensed show. That was it. Yeah.
I think some of them are quite good, but at the same time, I've been to some before where it's like complete mismatches, and I think sometimes it's a bit like
not a good idea. Probably.
It's just sometimes it puts a downer sort of on us guys who've gone. Who are going above and beyond to make sure everything.
Yeah, we're just going to say that. Yeah,
someone who can just be like, "All right, yep, I'm going to put the show on." Right, yep, you can fight him.
Yeah, because like what we were saying earlier before we, recorded the podcast. In a way, it's kind of making a mockery of the sport. I think some of these influencers that sort of, especially the show I did, like influencers that have never boxed a day in their life. And they just sort of come onto the show, and some of them were paid as well, like the winners were paid. And it was quite a considerable amount as well. And like what you've just said, it kind of, in my opinion, makes a mockery of those who have worked at this sport since they was very young, trained countless weeks, months, years to get to the point of where they are today. It's kind of like cheating in a way. Yeah. And it's not. I think everyone should be put through the same pace. There shouldn't be just people that can come on because they've got a good following and box, and then suddenly they're getting paid more than professionals. I just don't agree with it. What do you think?
I mean, I know a few kids who are doing the unlicensed shows now who are quite capable actually, and it's like, I would like them to come back to the amateur boxing and go through that and do the championships and try and sorry.
No, you're fine.
Like, try and actually like push themselves a bit more.
Yeah.
Because they've done fair enough. Like they've done these unlicensed shows, they've done the white collar boxing.
Yeah.
Which is good. If they've raised money for charity, that's amazing. Like I'm all for that. Like they put on the white collar events at the in town, and they raise a lot. Thousands of pounds each year for like cancer and all these other charities, which I think is amazing. Them shows are actually run really well. The black tie sort of events, but it's just like say when it's on just some sort of like working men's club, whatever, and it's just like it's a bit, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky to truly have an opinion on it because, like you say, some of them are very capable and have a lot of potential, I guess. And I guess looking at some of the influencers, you think there's potential there. They've got good potential to be a professional boxer one day. And obviously they've got to work their way up like what we have to, for example. But at the same time, I think it's tricky that the sort of skip levels and then suddenly they're getting paid more than professionals. I guess that's the only side I don't agree with, I guess. But going back to what you said, the potential's there, they're wanting to get into boxing like a lot of people are at the moment. if the hunger's there and the potential's there, I guess it doesn't really matter which way you sort of get into it, as long as you have the drive and ambition to want to be a boxer one day. That's the ultimate goal and what truly matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it is like there's a place for it. I think it is good for the sport because, like you said, it's bringing more and more people to get into, to do it. But I think once, if it's something that you want to continue, I think, you should maybe move over.
Yeah, 100%.
Truly, like, have a go at it.
Yeah, and why do you think boxing's so rife at the moment? Like, why do you think a lot of influencers are wanting to get into it? A lot of people that would never think about doing boxing ever before, excuse me, suddenly want to get into it now more than ever. What do you think's been the inspiration and drive and role behind that? Like, do you think it's social media? Do you think it's influencers that are inspiring young men and women to do this, or something else? What do you think?
You could possibly right there about the influencers. So I know that, like, Jake Paul, a lot of his fans are like kids. So
yeah,
I think he might be. It's probably a good chance that he's inspiring people to get into boxing, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very good thing, and I suppose it helps a lot of like gyms like yourself, like you own your own gym, I think you said, or your family does.
Yeah.
And it's driving a lot of young men and women to want to go and learn the sport, which is always a positive thing, I suppose, because it's giving these kids like purpose, it's giving them something to do, it's giving them something to get into, and it's a healthy thing to do. It's not something that's negative or going to have a negative impact on the life. It's something positive. So I suppose there's that. What is the good side of influencer boxing and influencers that do boxing is that it's bringing a lot of people that would never think to do the sport into doing it, so it's got its positives and negatives, I suppose.
Yeah. The probably negative towards it would be the fact that you've got people out there who don't know anything really about boxing or have never been to a boxing gym.
Yeah.
Who would think that, some of these influencers would be like on the same level as like a contender.
Yeah.
And there's a high chance that, a good contender they won't last with them.
No.
But
and maybe a lot of young men and women go into the sport a bit naively. Is that fair to say? Like, they think, if I train, I can do it. It's possible. Do you think there's that side of it as well? Maybe that they underestimate the sport a little bit. Maybe,
but then I think once you start training, you realise how hard it is.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do your first bit of sparring, then it's a wake up call for a lot of people. And some people, boxing's not for everybody. Some people
And do you ever...
They try it and they're just like, oh, you know what? Actually, it's not really for me.
Yeah.
Which is fine, which is fair enough,
And have you ever had young men and women walk into your gym and decide it's not for them, or have you had any that have been like, oh, this is absolutely for me?
Both, really.
Yeah.
It's fine on both parts. Like, I've got a guy at the moment, he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
He's never boxed before. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he just, he just likes to train boxing. Which is completely fine. Like, we can do the pads, we can do the exercises, we can do skipping, you can learn it.
Yeah.
It's never too late to even just have a bit of fun and keep fit.
That's it. And I think anyone can be a boxer or is capable of getting into boxing. You've just got to have the hunger and the drive to do it, I guess. And it's got to be something that you really want to do. And even the knocks, you've got to be comfortable with the knocks if you want to get better at it, and I think for a lot of women as well, I mean, this is another thing I wanted to ask you as well. What's your opinion on, I guess, women wanting to get into boxing? Do they find it more of a challenge than men, or are they quite as capable as men? Because that's another thing that seems to be on the rise as well, is female boxing. So I'd just like to get your opinion on what you think of that at the moment as well.
Yeah, I have about 7 female boxers who come to my gym.
Oh, that's good. Anyone who we might know, or
not yet?
Not yet, but soon enough.
They're quite capable.
Yeah.
I just have to be careful when I'm putting them in for sparring, because
I was going to say, is the different rules with men and women? Is there certain things that you have to keep separate, or is it just...
They're not allowed to actually box each other in a competitive match, but they can spar each other. So when I'm picking them to spar, I've got to think everything in my head, like, right, you know, because you can sort of like, you want to try and get it evenly matched. So there might be a guy, right, he's 3 or 4 kilos heavier, but...
Yeah. Because you've got to match the weight bracket
she's technically
as well.
Better.
Yeah.
So you put that in there, then it ends up being more even, because, you know, you just got to try and balance it out. Well, I wouldn't want to do it where, like, right, this kid just tries to absolutely beat up everybody.
Yeah.
And then you've got to be careful how you do it.
Yeah.
Well, when they're only kids as well, it's like
a bit tricky, I imagine. Yeah.
You've got to be like super careful, like, to make sure that, like, it is boxing at the end of the day, so it's tough.
And there's always the risks
I need to look after them as much as I can.
Yeah. And have you had anyone in your gym who's had a bit of a, not an injury, but I guess they've had a bit of a sparring session that's gone wrong maybe, or that's backfired, or have they all been quite capable and been comfortable with it?
They've all been pretty capable and comfortable with it. I mean, I've had 1 or 2 incidents where people have moaned or complained or, you know, something. It does happen. There's
always one.
But it's like, once I explain it to them, and after it's the heat of the moment's gone, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, like the initial shock that's gone, they're like, yeah, stick at it, keep going, and give it a try and see what's next for them.
That's it.
Yeah.
We've got a guy, we've had about 6 fights this year.
Yeah.
Because everything's happened so fast as well.
Yeah.
Like, we wanted to get guys out there, you know, we've had people training, and, you know, I think we've had like 4 wins. So,
wow, that's very good.
Really pleased with, you know, we're a very new club.
Yeah, because I was going to say, with you being a new club, have you had a lot of success stories like that, you know?
Yeah, we've got a guy now in the seniors, I think he's 24. He's 2-0. He was supposed to have a fight last week, but that fight ended up getting cancelled, that fight.
Yeah.
So, but he's really dedicated. And guys who keep saying they want to box, they're always in the, you know, the DMs.
Yeah.
Messaging, I need to do this, I want to do that. And then it's quite frustrating for me sometimes, because then they'll say this on a Tuesday night, and then on a Wednesday night they don't come to the gym, and I'm thinking, well,
yeah, that must be frustrating.
You're not coming, I'm not going to box you. That's one thing we've said. Like, we're not messing about. Like,
yeah,
you need to be turning up.
See, that's the thing as well. You'll get a lot of people, I imagine, that are not serious about it, and that will waste your time and their own time. Yeah. You know, and it just like no one wins, and it's frustrating, I imagine.
Yeah, that's it. So we've got. It's nice to have the serious kids now, because they're setting the example for the rest of the lads.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very good. You know, it sounds like your gym's very well. It's doing well for itself. You know, and you get a lot of different, diverse people. You know, so it's very good.
Yeah.
And sorry, was you going to say something there?
Oh no.
So we've talked about what you've got planned for the New Year's. Like, have you got any projects or anything else that you've got in mind or anything like that? Anything new that you're wanting to do or try out, or just stick at what you've said pretty much?
I just want to get more into the competitive side for myself, boxing.
Yeah.
And I just want to continue working with secondary schools. Like what I'm doing. I'm really enjoying it, because that's complementing the MOB as well. It's complementing us, and I want to get into my old school if I can, which was Farnley.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to see if I can go there, and I won't mind going to my primary school as well.
Yeah.
Which is only a few minutes away from the gym. So
and inspire younger kids to want to get into boxing, and how it's a good positive thing. I mean, when you go into schools, what sort of advice do you give to that generation? What do you sort of talk about, if you could? What would be your advice?
So, like, recently I've just been like putting sessions on.
Yeah.
But I went to Horseshoe School in March or February this year.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to year 8s right up to year 13s, sixth formers, and I was telling them a bit more about myself, like what I am now, and what I did, and what you guys can do, and, you know, how to cope with your GCSEs.
Yeah. Because obviously education is important alongside boxing as well. You know, it's a good message.
And, you know, I always say I have a backup plan. So, you know, not even just in boxing, just in sport in general.
Yeah.
So if you're, I think there's like a professional rugby player, or in the sixth form, or they're doing this or whatever, or they want to go down this route, and it's like, well, make sure you've got like that backup plan to fall onto if your dreams don't work out like what you'd hope for. Yeah,
because I think if you're wanting to get into something as big as that, it's always best to have a backup plan, just because you never know what could happen, So it's always best to have something in mind if that one thing that you're hoping for doesn't work out, Obviously, people want it to work out, but it's always best to have a backup just because you never know, So it's good. So you're wanting to do more of that as well, going into the new year, going into schools and...
Yeah, and more community engagement. I'm really enjoying it. Like, it was only a couple of weeks ago I turned on the lights.
Yeah.
In Armley.
Oh, that's good.
With
how was that?
With actor Theo Main.
Oh yeah, I think I might have heard.
Traitors.
Yeah.
I did that with him. I really enjoyed that. There were a couple of hundred people there.
Yeah.
And I'm just enjoying all these little things.
So you're very happy with where you are at the moment, and happy with how things are going.
Yeah, things seem to be going really well. I just want to
keep doing what you're doing
forward. And if anything comes up, one thing I would say, if anything comes up and someone asks you to do something, just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go for it.
Take the risk, because you never know where it might lead.
Opens doors for you.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Like, where would you like to be in 10 years' time? It could be not just with your boxing, but with anything. Like, where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing in 10 years' time? Do you see yourself doing the same thing, or something slightly different, or...?
Probably see myself doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Just keep going. I mean, I don't know if I'll still be boxing myself at that point. I might be.
You never know.
People are boxing later and later now. Like, people don't retire till
I was going to say a lot of boxers
don't retire till they're a bit later, like 37, 38.
Yeah, they're pushing through it a bit more now, aren't they? Yeah.
So you never know what could happen. Really, I don't think boxing will never leave me. Really.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might be like, oh, I'm not doing this no more, but then.
Yeah. Some things you can absolutely leave in the past, but boxing, that'll never be left. No.
It's like,
and it's good because it's good because it's been instilled in you from a young age as well. So you've sort of grown up and you're still doing it as an adult as well, and you see it in your future as well, So that's the sort of dedication that anyone who wants to get into boxing should have. It should be instilled in you. You should want to pursue it as much as possible. I imagine it's constantly on your mind. If it's something you're truly passionate about and want to do, then you just know instantly that it's for you. I imagine you tell people who you coach and train that same message. Yeah,
so I try and give advice from what I've been given, and also like what I found just from personal experiences.
Yeah.
So it was a couple of weeks back. I was in the corner for the first time, one of our amateur boxers.
Oh, how was that?
And, we got the win, so I was really buzzing because I had a bit of bad news myself with the boxing match my fight having to be sort of rescheduled.
Yeah.
So then I think it was a week later, I took one of the lads out, and because I've been a bit really busy, so I've not had a chance to do it yet. And I was like, right, and I got that, and I kind of put it on his shoulders a bit. I was like, look, you need to get this win really for us.
Yeah, we've got to get it. Yeah. I was going to say, as a corner man, what advice would you give to the person whose corner you're in? What would be your go-to motivation and push, I guess, during the match?
Just everything really. I can't help it. I was more nervous for that than my own fights. I was stood there
that's interesting though.
I was looking at his coach in the other corner, looking at their fight with the coach, and I was thinking, all right, Josh, but I'm not boxing here. Just calm down. And I'm giving him instructions.
Yeah.
Like a little stare down, then I went, and then we sort of did a wave with like, sort of respect wave.
Yeah. Yeah. So I bet that was a new experience for you as well.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And then after the first round came back to the corner.
Yeah.
He's got his minute rest, and I just got in there, and I was just giving him the best advice for what I'd seen. And
what would be your go-to sort of, because they only have, a minute in the corner. I think it was a minute for me as well. You just sort of say, like, what spurs that person on to keep fighting and pushing through the rounds. Because for me personally, what made me push through round after round was, sort of advice like, don't give up, you've got this, you just keep going, move around the ring, get your opponent tired, spar and go for the punches when the moment's right. That kind of advice. Would you give similar, or?
Yeah, I think that was really good, actually. I'd want to give a little bit of technical advice as well. Like, if I've seen a hole or a shot that's there for my guy, I'd be like, look, the guy keeps on dropping that window. Like, you need to come over with this. I'd try to do that, but I won't want to say too much, because I've had it before where they might be going, do this, do that, and it's like,
it goes when you're trying to recover and get your breath back. Your senses are a bit heightened and you don't take everything in, like you say. You need to, I didn't either, so I can absolutely, repeat that. I just sort of, the main things I heard was just don't give up, just keep going. I had about 3 people in my corner, and one of them was saying, do you want to throw in the towel? And it was kind of, that advice didn't really work for me, because it was kind of like allowing me to give up, and that's okay. Whereas I don't think that's good advice, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think it's not on you really to do that. It's the coach's call to know the fighter well enough to be like, can they continue or not? Exactly.
Like, if your corner person is saying, oh, do you want to, are you done? Like, it's kind of like telling you to give up, pretty much, in my opinion.
The easy way out, sort of thing.
The easy way out, and just sort of saying, oh, you'll get hurt, that kind of thing. Like, we don't want to see you get hurt. But I think with boxing, you have to kind of take the shots and just give it your all until you can't anymore, rather than just, oh, I still feel okay, but if I go on any further, I might not be. You just got to take that chance and see if you do, not just sort of quit at the first hurdle, So I imagine you give much better advice than that, being a professional boxer. It shows the difference between influencer and professional, does advice like that,
I mean, I'd say, first thing I'd say is breathe.
Yeah, definitely.
Relax. Are you all right? Do you need a drink?
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, right, look, this guy's doing this. You need to do this.
Yeah.
I say I was a little bit flat-footed at one point. I was like, right, and the ring was really small, too small. In my opinion, really. I was like, right, look, this guy's shorter than you. He's coming in. He's just trying to wail away at you here.
Like swing around, that kind of
way
thing.
Way more technical. You're a lot better than this guy.
Yeah.
But you need to get a little bit more up on the balls of your feet. 2-phase, 3-phase attacks. You need to be, jab, boom, out, in, jab.
Yeah.
You're fighting his game at the moment, sort of like that sort of thing. Got to.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It is hard. I've been in that position myself. I'll be sat there. My coach will be telling me one thing. I just completely might take a little bit and then completely ignore the rest of it and just do my own thing. And then they're coming back. You're not listening.
Yeah, I got that as well.
It is hard.
But in the moment, your senses go all out the window, I think, don't they?
I mean, that's one thing I've matured with, my last couple of fights. I've take everything in what they say, and I just listen to my cornerman now. I make myself fit enough, confident enough and strong enough where I'll be coming back and we're having like a conversation.
Yeah.
And I'll take it in and I'll just do whatever they tell me to do.
Yeah.
Because they've got your best interests at heart, really.
Exactly, and they want you to win more than you do yourself, So yeah, it's very good. It's good that you've tried different things in boxing. Like you're the professional boxer. You have your matches yourself. You've been someone's corner man. You've tried these different things. You've got your own gym. You're helping to coach and inspire, the youth into getting into boxing. It's a very good thing. I mean, do you see yourself doing anything else to do with boxing? Like, I don't know, maybe becoming even a promoter one day or something like that? Or is promotion not your side?
I don't think that's my thing.
No.
I mean, no, I don't think that's my thing.
No, no, like you won't want to start up a business and, maybe get start up matches, that kind of thing, and put people together. It'd be too much.
stress.
Organising a boxing event, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's too stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, we want to have our own show as well at some point.
Yeah.
That'll be
under your gym's company name.
It'll be like,
yeah.
So it'll be, the ministry's show. So it'll be like, we'd like to get like, I don't know, I think you can have up to 16 matches. I think you can have.
Oh, that's quite a lot.
Usually a few drop off, so you might have, say, 12.
Yeah.
But, you'd
still a good
16.
number.
Yeah, and it'd be nice if we could do, that is probably one maybe target and goal for next year. We'd have 16 of our guys on.
Yeah.
All of our home fighters against whoever they put us with, the other clubs in the country.
Yeah.
I think, if I can get one of them out, that'd be amazing. But
yeah.
I must admit, I'm putting it off a bit because it will be really stressful.
Yeah, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, so to speak. Take too much on and then you're lacking other ways and can't prioritise other things. You don't want to make yourself too busy.
So at the moment, we've just been getting phone calls and we've got your lad, blah, blah, is he still this way? We've got a fight for him.
Yeah.
In Liverpool if he wants it, and we've just been doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like, just go.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you've got a lot on and you keep him busy, and I'm glad I've got you on my podcast, to be honest, because you've got quite a story to tell. You've got a good past. You've given very good advice. You've really talked us through your journey. And I really appreciate that. You've been a really good guest, and I'll definitely take you up on that about potentially training at your gym for any future fights I may have. I don't know. Never say never. But no, thank you very much for tuning into the podcast, guys, and thank you very much, Josh, for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you.